Hello everyone and welcome. Well, it's another intermission stream again, because as you probably read, Agonia was ill on Wednesday, Agonia is still ill today, and it's like a big up and down, so we're just like saying no. It's not, Wiki 3 is not happening today, Buff Barley Butchers will continue next Friday, but until then we will have a bit of a pause, that is. So I thought like, you know what, let's play some more Monster Hunter, and I asked if people would like to join the open lobby. That was the case, so more Monster Hunter Rise. First time playing Monster Hunter Rise. And well, I guess also probably more nitpicking and stuff. So as you see, I did play a bit in the meantime. Just did a bit of, first armor. And, well, frankly, I did change. I think this might be the game where I'm playing through with Hammer. It's been a while since I played Hammer. Yeah. I never played fully through a game with Hammer, actually. And also, like, I mean, I played it in Frontier a while ago. It's not that I don't know how to play Hammer. Yeah, wait. I need to talk to the mailman. No, the lobby will only be open to my Discord server. And I guess, for that, just gonna do a very quick so, oh, there we have it. Copy to clipboard. Oh, yeah. What? No, that Discord is invite only and usually only for people, and also not for people who are for a bit in streams and such. So yeah, if you are on the Discord though, also hello Claire, welcome, welcome. I did open it up. So yeah, I switched over to Hammer this time. Basically made these three. I think I still need to do some stuff to get them. I could do the Izuchi, but I thought the Izuchi one is really good. Yeah, currently just a jumbo bone, basically. Oh, hello. Okay. Let's just look where you get jumbo bones from. Atsuros, Lagombi. Okay, well that sounds very much doable. All right. Let's see if we if we do that before or after. So I could definitely get the better hammer before I go into. Oh yeah, it's actually one thing. Wait a second. I don't think it should be fine. Oh, so yeah, by the way, the Defender's absolute bullshit. Like, interestingly, I just, now that I checked that, you can basically get the same amount of damage with just with one upgrade to the Bone Hammer, which is like, I mean, yeah, it is not the same because you still have, you know, green sharpness and, you know, also have the defense bonus, which is like, it is kind of ridiculous how much they overbuff these weapons. Just so people can skip stuff in the game. Like, these should not be in the game. Like, straight up. This is just, like, you need one bone for a hammer that gives you 1 at 10 attack, green sharpness, and the 30 defense bonus? Like, yeah, 1 out of 10 and yellow sharpness on the second on the bone hammer, which is still, you know, that's doable for normal people. I just don't get it. Oh well, let's look at what we can have here in the first. Yeah, we have the urgent. No, actually, why not? Let's just bonk. You know what? That sounds good. So I guess we will start trying to get up a bit first. Shouldn't think too much about it. Hey, Lena. Yeah, Mochi. I mean, yeah. You know, strong hunter needs big dango. Ooh. Someone already has made some good gear. I mean, if it would be okay, you could probably just maybe take in some less strong equipment. I do want to kind of do this, you know, on my own. Not that you're like, if you try to swallow 3 dango at that size at once in a row, you probably wouldn't survive it. I probably would. It's all about the technique. I mean, it's always about, you know, what I kind of like about Monster Hunter games is, you know, that you have to, you know, the track upwards. So, by the way, Claire, are you also coming? Because I think you said you were interested in joining. Or is something prohibiting you? But I mean, yeah, big dango is just like, you need to know what, you just need to have the right technique, then you can swallow the biggest dangos. Oh, you can also eat outside. Ooh. Why is it limited to 4 people? It's so weird. We're still talking about dangos. What did you think that we're talking about? Oh well. Time to smack some bear. Oh yeah. I don't think I can pet Van Ruko actually. So yeah, time to bonk basically the first monster you also would hunt in Portable Third. I think Etsuros was the first on the list there. Oh, hey again, Claire. Again, everything is in the Discord if you want to join. We're just doing some bear bonking. Okay. And this is how you do it. You go up. And bonk. Bonk. I mean, this is probably one of those reasons why I keep saying Monster Hunter is kind of a pretty accessible and quite easy game. Because there are weapons, especially in older games where, you know, the game has a lot less flashiness. You just put out the hammer, you load the hammer, you go up to the... Oh! Yes. Okay, we're just bonking Captain Blaubeer. Go. And now you do the very... Oh. Did my dog just trip me? Okay. For some reason I am not good at passing some distances in this game. It was an upset of older games where, you know, everything was a lot more flat. And back to the good old... Oh. Yeah. Hammer is like one of those games where I would say, one of those weapons where I'd say, you can make in any entry, you can just make very easy progress because, first of all, you don't really need to think about, you know, bouncing off a monster. Because with certain hammer attacks, you don't bounce off. Which makes it pretty easy, especially, you know, you have low sharpness, something is hard at a monster, you load up, you know, you wait 3, so there we go, and you just do a lot of damage with, like, one swing, and done. Yeah, I mean, let's just be real here. The bonk is not that easy, there are layers to the bonk. You still need to know how to time the bonk. I don't play the bonk good here, or do that, so, you know. But the bonk is what gets you through, like, most of the game. don't go near the bear when you want to bonk. Too close when you just need to know when to bonk. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. But yeah, like especially even if you play older games where people say, oh, they're like so hard. Wyverns. Let's see if this is still similar in this game. Like flying wyverns were ridiculously easy with the hammer and unite. Like you play against Rathian and you hit the head. The head of Rathian and Rathalos has extra weakness to blunt damage. So the big evil Rathalos became just laying on the ground, had stars around the head and was like, oh god, what am I doing? Is it flashy? Not really. Is it fucking effective? Yeah. I mean, I've started liking the bomb more. Thanks to Frontier. Because in Frontier on Hunter Rank 4, monsters became ridiculously hard and I just bounced off with my weapon before, I was able to do a fencing armor. And what happened? Agonia told me, just use the hammer. And let me tell you, if you have a problem with a monster, or some rank in Monster Hunter, just use the bonk. It's like you bonk, you roll to the side, and if it stays stationary, triple smash. It's that easy. Am I making a big hammer propaganda now? Maybe. But people should cherish the simple things in life. And the simple things in life is you run up to a bear and you bonk. I think that is something that newer titles have probably been very bad at conveying. It's just how well you can actually evade monsters. Like people always talk about, oh, in Dark Souls, actually everything is telegraphed and everything is very easy to dodge. I'd say Monster Hunter is even more like that. Like, if you compare Monster Hunter to, for example, Dark Souls or Dark Souls 3 onwards, you need a lot more tighter timing for a lot of the bosses, basically. And they have more rapid attack patterns. In Monster Hunter, well, a lot of the enemies don't do that much damage and are very slow. Like, okay, they become a lot faster later, but you can train on them. And there are a lot more safe zones in Monster Hunter than in, Dark Souls-like action games. Because a ridiculous amount of moves in this game actually have, have iframes, even in older games. Like, if you roll, those are iframes. The Superman dive is even more iframes if you just need to have that extra layer of, protectiveness. If you have hops on the lands, those are also iframes. I mean, to a degree it is literally, you need to know when to time and do everything, it's true. But again, it is a very slow game, and in other titles, it's even not that vertical, it's just like on a flat plane. Okay, now I'm just stupid. That's not like, oh hey, that is just on me talking, not thinking. Let's get on with that. Come here. Come. There it's over. there it's dead. I do need to make the game a bit less loud though, I think. Yeah, the audio is a bit... I should do this though first. But yeah. Oh, there we have a jumbo bone. Music and other effects. Yeah, I was like... I definitely need to tune those down a bit. But like... Yeah, it's not really a hard game, is what I'm saying. This is why I find it so funny that people say, you know, that people say, oh, we need, you know, extra strong weapons and armor because for people who are, you know, not good at the game. Jumbo bones, nice. So like, you know what? Let's just open this evening directly with some very hot takes. Like, as I said, I don't think you know, the defender weapons and trees, I've said this already on Twitter, are really like sensible because I mean the core loop of the series, the main loop is you get better. Oh, I should probably turn it off. Oh, whoops. Because like the main idea about the series is one thing. You kill monsters, you gain loot, you craft better gear. I don't need to go to the bodysmith, I need to go to the smith. You know, you craft gear, you do, you bonk more monsters, or, you know, kill more monsters. I think one difference that is kind of interesting in my regard is when people compare Monster Hunter and Dark Souls is that I'd say Dark Souls, especially in newer titles from From Software and, you know, games that copy them, have actually harder enemies that are less accessible because they have more frequent attack chains and less, you know, ways to evade them. But here's an interesting difference. Monster Hunter, I think, is more accessible and easier in the direct combat area, but one thing it does is gate progress behind needing to kill monsters. Meaning, you need to overcome certain monsters with a capped level of gear that you can reach, which is still very, very, you know, not, nice what you can get out of it, certain gear, but you need to overcome with, you know, a limited amount of equipment to gain access to more equipment, while I'd say in Dark Souls and other action RPGs, enemies are stronger overall, but you can grind outside, like, yeah, you can technically grind a shit ton of levels before you even go into the Asylum Demon in Dark Souls 1. Is it going to be fun? No. Is it going to be soul-crushing? Absolutely. Can you still do it? Yeah. You will still gain some souls from the piss-poor enemies in this tutorial area. You can do that. So let's see. And there we go. Bone Hammer 2. I absolutely would like to do that. What do we have here? The unbearable hammer. Do I want to go into the Zuros tree? It is better. It has... Let me just look. Yes, yellow sharpens for 10 more attack. Is that worth it? Oh, Monster Hunter is full of puns. The moment they realized Palico, they have cats as companions, they just put all the cat puns in onto the Palicos. Wait a second. I need 3 iron ore for this. I need 3 iron ore for this. You know what? Let's make the Azuros hammer and make a new iron hammer. Just to see where it goes. In terms of armor, I'm basically making something very simple. So, as you can see, I have the Izuchi one, which, you know, gives me crit eye. I think I made these be for recovery speed? Unsure what it was again. Well, which one were it? Standard poison attack. Oh yeah, I would need the Kuru-Yaku hide for more crit attack and Kuru-Yaku for slugger. Oh yeah, Kuru-Yaku, I guess. What I kind of hate is, okay, so this is one of the main features I love about Frontier. I just kind of want to show, I can't show this really, but in Frontier, when you want to forge something, and you see, like, for example, where do I get eroded skeletons? I have to say, in literally every other Monster Hunter game, so I'm kind of used to that, you just go online and Google it, because there are lists for that. But Frontier the MMO has one feature I want to come back, because there you can press the L button, so L3, and you can select through every single material, and it tells you where you get it from. I am, like, they lifted a lot of stuff from Frontier into the main series of the last entries. But this is like this one quality of life change that when I realized that wasn't Frontier, I was like, holy shit. Not that it's like perfect, again, sometimes I just sat there where like, you said I get, you know, I get the Goro Magala tail from Goro Magala, and I cut the tail 15 times, and there was no fucking tail, and I checked online and said, yeah, you get it there, and nothing dropped, so I was like, what the fuck is going on here? And it made me insane, but still, wouldn't that be nice if you could just look up where you would get certain materials from in-game? I'm just saying, that is like literally the one quality of life feature from Frontier, I'd say, that should just be in the next game. Period. So I guess we can bonk. Let's bonk the one monster that is not supposed to be here. And then we can go on to the oh yeah, Claire, do you still need to make more key quests is the question. Because then we can just do some key quests and show those off and then make the... the training quest. But no, do you need... Oh yeah, okay, good. Then we get you 4 key quests. That should be no problem. I guess I have no clue. Yeah. And never forget to put all your items back into You know, I should make a loadout, is what I'm saying. Transfer items, then ration. Why are rations something? Okay. Let's sort this. Oh well. Perfect. Time to go. Oh, I just realized the quest was called Tired and Feathered. They really like their puns in Monster Hunter, it seems. So the Kuluyaku is up there. Oh well. Oh, wait. So fun fact, this monster should not be in this game. I know why it is in this game, but you know, in universe, it should not be in this game. I know people can say, ah, but it's just there because it's fun. I know why they put it in. They put it in because a lot of people, you know, came in with Monster Hunter World and they didn't want to, you know, scare off people with Monster Hunter World by, you know, just plugging a lot of monsters they don't know. But in universe, this monster, the Kuluyaku, should not be able to be in Rise. It is almost a thing of absolute impossibility that the Kuluyaku is where it is. Oops. Sorry. I think I just launched you, Claire. I mean, let's just be real. I don't have anything against Kuluyaku. It is a wonderfully goofy monster that I absolutely adored since it was in World the first time. But also, I am a fucking Monster Hunter boomer and I still know the world map from Monster Hunter 2nd Generation. So I will nitpick the shit out of this. Even though people will say, oh, maybe this is just, you know, a spin-off, don't think too much about it. I will. They could make their spin-offs consistent. You know what? It would have been really funny if they said, you know, the Kuluyaku is an invasive species that some idiot has brought back from the New World. Because that is the only reason why it could be there. I mean, also the only reason why the Jagras are here for some reason. But yeah, to explain why I say this one is like almost impossible, is the fact that Monster Hunter's world has basically 3 continents. There is an eastern continent, there's a western continent, and there's a central continent. Now, the central continent and the eastern continent are called and seen as the old world. This is where, you know, most of Monster Hunter games are set. This is where Meingar is, this is where Dundorma is, this is where the guild is. You know, most of civilization is in the old world, which is, you know, the central continent. And then there... Oh, yeah. Thank you. And then there... And to the east, there's a more, you know, wild continent with a lot more, you know, isolated villages. And those are, you know, the villages of, for example, Yukumu, Moga, those in the third generation, and they're a lot more, you know, Asian in design. Like, basically Minegarde, Pocket, etc. on the main continent have a more European style. You know, they have actual fortresses, they have plate armor. But most villages, they're a bit more Stone Age? You know, Stone Age, early civilization style. But that is basically how the central continent is, and the eastern continent has a lot more, you know, well, Asian influences. And they trade a lot, but they're basically... And they're not isolated, but they're still separated by water and certain amount of islands. So monsters can traverse between the eastern and the central continent. It's just not that easy, and, you know, not every monster can do it. Which is why in the central continent, the smaller, you know, the small monsters, the small predators are mainly velocidromes, gyrodromes, iodromes, etc. While on the eastern continent, it's Yagi, Buggy, Froggy, like you see here. Now, the western continent, the New World. Well, first of all, the ocean is bigger and there's no real island chain between them. Also, the ocean is just way more fucking dangerous. I think it's not as big as the Atlantic, so technically getting from the central to the western continent is not that long. It's just your ship will probably sink because, you know, the ocean is that fucking deadly, and I mean, they have never confirmed it. They just said the, you know, ocean is very deadly, and I like to think that, you know, some of the monsters who, for example, fought in the third generation, or, you know, fought the juvenile versions of in the third generation. Who remembers, you know, the Gobru? That's a cute little anglerfish, right? Yeah, the Gobrus are very big, but they're just the juvenile Gobrus. Real Gobrus are gigantic and live in the deep sea. So, like, it wouldn't surprise me that if, you know, without better ship techniques, a lot of ships just probably sank due to Gobru attacks on the way to the new continent, to the new world. But, you know, in accordance with, you know, focusing on ecology, what I like is that one of the differences between the old world and, you know, the eastern and central continent in the new world is that in the new world, the, how's it called? The main small predator are fanged wyverns. So, you know, the jaguars, small, you know, like non-bipedal. Damn it. Wyverns. Which, you know, that were so rare in the old world that up until, you know, the 5th generation, we ironically only knew one fanged wyvern. Literally. And that was the Nogre. Oh hey, it's a roast. There we go. But yeah, and Kuluyaku was discovered in the New World. So, if we are to imagine that someone apparently, against the will of the guild, and you need to keep in mind, the only people on the New World are guild members. Literally, scientists and specialized personnel, that someone went, captured a bunch of Kuluyakus actually, because you need more than one or two, else the gene pool sucks to, you know, have a new population. and like captured Kuluyaku. No one noticed. And they then brought them over, which is like, yeah, they probably didn't do that. Would mean that a Kuluyaku, this fucking thing right here, one of the lowest things on the food chain, like it survives by stealing eggs. It steals eggs. It's a small scavenger. That's how much you would, that's how deep it is on the food chain there. It would have needed to cross the ocean to the old world, so the central continent. And as I told you, that ocean is fucking big. And yeah, something like the Gobul, you know, adult Gobuls are there, probably. And then it would have needed, it swam the ocean for budgetary reason. Oh yeah, but you know, Claire, that's not everything. It swam the ocean, climbed over a mountain range, went through a dense jungle, went through a fucking scorching desert, passed by the kingdom of Schrade and Dundorma, a fucking fortress city that is constantly battling some of the biggest monsters alive, and elder dragons. So hostile as fuck area. Then reached the coast and swam through another ocean to then possibly reach this area, because again, we know where this town probably is. Two areas they have here, and again, some areas, you know, we know that from older generations, some areas overlap with other, you know, villages, simply due to the fact that, you know, sometimes there is not a hunter in one village to take care of, you know, the monster in one area. So Kamakuro and Yukumo and Moga are sharing the flooded forest and sandy dunes. Sandy plains, was it? Sandy plains. So this town is very likely on the eastern continent. It does make World's Let's Explore a whole new continent and ecosystem a bit silly when it turns out half the monsters were in the old world. They just didn't keep good records. Okay, so here are two things I would point out about that. I think it already made 4 a bit silly, because 4 is set still on the main continent as far as I know. Especially in G rank, because there the dunes are literally a remake of the first desert of Monster Hunter 1, and you are in Dundorma from Monster Hunter 2, and the eastern continent is already seen as more of the, you know, wild backwater continent. You know, it's a bit more treacherous than the main continent. Like, the main continent is all sorts of fucked up. Like, they have their own problems with, let's just point to the obvious things, mysterious towers from old civilizations that just attract elder dragons and all sorts of strong wyverns, and, you know, the whole shebang. The main continent is not really a nice place. There are a lot of areas where you're just like, yeah, it's kind of fucking shit here. But then you have also stuff like, yeah, I don't have a rolled skeleton. Fuck me then. Just do something different. I have crit eye now. Hell yeah. Yeah, I made the Kuluyaku boots, so I have crit eye on that on 3. So yeah, crit eye 3, I make more crit damage. That is nice. But yeah, that is... It's not that there were monsters on, you know, the eastern continent that were kind of already isolated there. Like, stuff like Lagiacrus makes sense. Like, Lagiacrus is in the water. It can just swim over to, you know, the main continent. But yeah, as you pointed out, it is very weird that... Okay, let's see. You know what? Let's bonk a rabbit. It is a bit silly that they just say, like, oh yeah, the Kuluyaku's now in Rise, and you're like, okay? Wyvern Sisters Maple. Oh yeah. Wait. Fuck. My brain is not adjusting to is really not adjusting to the idea that I have to confirm with circle. Like, I played Freedom Unite once and my brain was like, oh yeah, you need to do it with you know, cross now. I'm like, brain, I am playing Frontier where I confirm with circle. I specifically put in circle as confirm in Rise. Why do you just randomly switch back for me to just press cross again? Why can't you just accept circle? This is probably, and I need to be honest with you here. This is probably the biggest mistake Sony had done with the PlayStation 1. Like, back in the day, the idea for the signs on the buttons on the PlayStation controller were, you know, from the designer's perspective, that you can just instantly recognize what they're supposed to do, because it was like, if you put like language on there, it can be imprecise, etc., etc. So the idea was, you had like, for example, a square, because that would put up menus and lists, because menus and lists are square. You know, they're squares on your monitor. And you know, there's triangle, because I think triangle was something like pointing upwards. So it was just a very simple thing. But then we come into a very cultural mishap. You see, in Japanese, confirming, you know, on notes, you do with a circle, and denying you do with an X. So obviously, he put in a circle and an X with the obvious idea that you confirm with a circle and you deny with an X. Because he thought that was obvious. You know? Who doesn't do that? Turns out two whole fucking continents do not do that. And so all the European designers were like, oh yes, but what about confirming with the cross? And you're like, oh, this is going to make so many problems down the line. And yeah, now you just have a shit ton of games that literally have their confirmation on circle in Japanese, but cross in Europe, and if you ever switch between them, your brain just gets fucked up. Okay, except the PlayStation 2 games who thought like, how about cancelling is on triangle? I do not know who thought about that, and who was like, this is a good idea. Nintendo escaped with the A button. I mean, A, B is very simple, yeah. By the way, I have something open. You can join, by the way. That does not have a key quest, so I think you need 2 more, and then we could do the urgent one. Yeah. This is like literally the weirdest thing. I mean, on PlayStation games, it's the worst. I like PlayStation 2 games. They're all over the place. B does not confirm. B must never confirm. You know, after playing a bunch of games where you confirm with A, yeah, I get that. Maybe not. Maybe do not confirm with B. You're right. I also find it very funny that the snow area, just you don't need hot rings anymore, which is like, does it kill the game? No, as with basically all decisions in the series, not really. It's just like, I mean, sorry Capcom, if you want to make like a game with a certain focus on ecology and interconnectedness, it should be like that you either need armor that is specifically made for, you know, whole hot and cold area, or you just have the hot rings again. Whee! Also, constantly showing the monster is also weird. Just... What is that? Lantern bug. There's a lot of... Ooh. Oh. I'm sorry, I'm just currently exploring a bit and... Oh. Poacher, an oversized oyster. It's too big to eat in one bite. Account item. Okay. But yeah, the confirmation in games is like, do it right or don't do it. Okay, you know, you should not do it at all. That is kind of stupid. You kind of need a confirmation and cancel button in video games. But you get what I mean, right? Oh, look. But I mean, this is not only specific to console games, mind you. Like, you'd think like, oh hey, what on the PC gaming market could make you as confused as, you know, confirm with circle? Oh, so the wire box get frozen in with cold. That's actually neat. So... The thing about top-down action games, like nowadays, you usually go and have it so that you can, you know, walk with a right mouse button click, and you know, you then go in with a left mouse button to just interact with objects. That is what everyone nowadays thinks is normal and should be how it is. Well, at least most people in the West. And then, you know, you play stuff like Ragnarok Online, and the whole game is, oh yeah, you move with left mouse button. I can tell you, this was a fun time when you know, we played at the same time Ragnarok Online and Heroes of the Storm, my brain was constantly adjusting. Like, you play a while Ragnarok and your brain's like, oh yeah, you move with the left mouse button, that is logical and normal. And then you go and play Heroes of the Storm and you're like, oh, why is my character doing weird things? And then you realize, oh wait. It does weird things because this game is designed differently. Yeah, move around, bit funny. Alright, it is very nice how just a big number pops up. Hello, Benui. Bonk. That was my mistake. Do not do the spin attack. You stand still, you bonk, and then you turn to the side. And then you charge again. And you bonk. Mod team, could someone take care of it for a second? Oh yeah, there's Paranormal. There we go. And some spider webs. Honestly, one thing that they definitely sped up in this game is just that you can collect stuff so much faster. I can't really do the smart attack yet. Yeah, now I fucked up. Go. And there we go. Okay, so interestingly, the dogs can actually trip. I think I will probably give my dog then a different weapon. Oh, yes, finally more attacks. Can you just stand still a bit? Go. And yeah. Oh, hello, Great Robbie. Oh no, that's Hunky. Right. Oh, there we go. So, ironically, that blue, you know, I'm really thinking about which category were the small wyverns again. Like the drones. I think one thing about that is kind of interesting because you think, oh, so that is just, you know, because it was in the third generation, such as Great Yagi and Great Hoggy. So those were basically the, how's it called, equivalent to the Velocidrome, Gear Prey, Io Prey, and Gen Prey. Here's an interesting thing though. Since, you know, the Velocidrome, Iodrome, and Gendrome are, you know, standard attack, poison attack, and paralysis attack, you'd probably also think that, well, they had something similar going in the third generation if they had, you know, the Yagi, the Vrogi, and the Buggy. Well, interestingly, yes. The Yagi is just, you know, your standard, you know, normal wyvern, bipedal wyvern. The Vrogi was the poisonous one. And then you had the Buggy, which was, I think, Sleep. Interesting, though. The Buggy was not in Tri. And Tri was... No, the blue one was not in Tri. I'm very sure I saw it was not in Tri. Yeah, let's just, now I need to do it, myself. There we go. Mod team is not, available, it seems. So, banhammer it is. Forge armor. Wait, no, I can't do stuff here anymore. Hey, what does Lagombi give me actually? Let's just see. By the way, Lagombi, very cute armor set. Very comfy. Very comfy. And Natsuros is also very cute because, you know, small little ears. It's very cute. Okay, let's see skill info. You take events when you fall in battle. Yeah, that's not really useful. Okay, defense boost, and diversion. I mean, I guess, but that is more for like. I don't think that's actually viable in one of. Oh, more crit eye, but I already have that. Affinity sliding use affinity for shot. That is weirdly specific. Ice attack, obviously, constitution. Okay. And crit eye. Yeah, it's Benui. I know. It's so funny because the Kuluyaku briefs are just straight up better than the Lagombi ones. Like, yeah. I guess, I mean, I guess your water defense is down. You have better ice defense with Lagombi, but Kulu has more defense overall and crit eye and stun resistance? I guess you really just get the Benui armor. Also, Froggy is just your cowboy. I find that very funny, but that's definitely more of an... let's see if I can make some other... Why is there such a delay? Let's see if I can do some hammer stuff. Nope. Nope. Okay, I definitely thought this might be Lagombi because, you know, you see there's an ice symbol, and so I was like, okay, what's the ice monster? Oh. Let's do another key quest, and then we can do the urgent. You have this. Oh, by the way, small toad. I'm actually unsure if this is, you know, a juvenile version of, how was the toad called again from 4th gen? Because now that I see it, look at it, it looks like actually, you know, the tail from, you know, when from toads, the juvenile versions live in the water. It is very cute though. Can I... Yeah, the whole can I eat outside? I can. I get it. see if the cutscene changes because I'm sitting outside. And actually it does. Neat. But yeah, Benui got bonked. Is that supposed to be the Naga armor? I think that's supposed to be the Naga armor. Yeah, Benui got bonked. It was for the betterment of the village. I mean, yeah, if you can make some Lagombi stuff, I think the best, since they, you know, reworked how, since they generally reworked how armor works, armor skills, I mean, it is generally better to make mixed sets from the start, because it's like, you know, when you use hammer, for example, going crit, you know, crit eye is easy, because you activate crit eye the moment you have a point in crit eye now. So just stacking 3 pieces of gear that have crit eye and you have crit eye 3. Meaning, yeah, cool, nice, you just have now relatively easy armor to do with mixed, that you can do with mixed sets. While before it, okay. So, for those who don't know, before it was that you, it was so that you had to go and, every armor gave you a certain amount of points towards a skill, and every skill had thresholds at which this, you know, skill levels activated. So, for example, if you had crit eye, you had to have 10 points, I think, in crit eye to get crit eye 1, and then I think 5 more points to get crit eye 2, and then so it was different for everyone. And sometimes there are, you know, there was stuff that just had like 1 level. I mean, still it is here, but yeah, it was a bit of a more different beast, because you had to way more think about, okay, how do I actually, you know, engage with my build? What kind of armor do I pick? Because what kind of armor you picked was like way different. You had to way more commit to an armor set to, for example, get pieces that you want, and then you maybe started 1 or 2 different things in, and then you had like the general equipment, you know, slots of jewels, and that made your build diverse. And yeah, it was a lot more, you know, planning and such. Obviously, this also meant that the higher you went in rank, the more points and different skills you actually had on an armor set. And what I also kind of found interesting is that in, you know, older games, because of how the system worked, you could have, I think you still have debuffs on here. But before that, lowering skills, lowering armor usually gave you, like, here's a, like 1 or 2 skills that are good, and like 1 or 2 skills that are pretty bad. So interestingly, in a lot of older games, the lowering was a lot of times a game about compromise. You didn't have the best gear, you didn't have the best weapons, but I mean, you also didn't fight like... I mean, basically it didn't went and were like, okay, now go and fight Elder Dragons. Okay, in Generations they were, okay, now go and fight Elder Dragons. But Generations is a bit of a different beast, you know? In general, it was actually kind of interesting because... yeah, it kind of sucked having, you know, not the best armor, not the best weapons. But it also made it interesting and fun, in my opinion. Because again, you fought small monsters like this one here. Where you didn't need the best gear in the world, while when you had the best gear in the world, then the game was like, okay, now fight Kushala the Aura, now fight Theostra. There's a counter at the door. I mean, okay, there's also like Lao Shanlong, and no one liked Lao Shanlong, except I guess I do. I don't know, Lao Shanlong is not a good fight, it's just very zen in my opinion. Okay, one thing they definitely need to buff again in newer titles is monster stamina. Like, listen, I don't have anything personally against the concept of, you know, monsters getting exhausted. But it is kind of ridiculous just how fast it happens in newer titles. Like, yeah, I can imagine that the Unite solution of no, the monster will just keep attacking you, fuck you, might be surprising for a lot of people that joined with, you know, newer titles, because, for example, Tigrex will never ever fucking exhaust themselves. Which makes the fight fun, in my opinion, because again, the Tigrex just keeps charging you, and it's just a constant barrage of oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. This thing wants me dead, and it will not stop until I am or it is. The problem is just... I mean... I think, you know, having this whole, oh, it can exhaust itself, is kinda neat, because it's like, yeah, you know, this monster fights until exhaustion, so his great strategy backfires. That's also like a neat concept to, you know, characterize monsters. But again, the whole idea of the fight of Tigrex, this thing charges you until you are dead, it just kinda goes away, because, like, I think Tigrex is my preferred example of everything that went wrong with the monster changes in 3rd generation. Like, 2nd gen, Freedom 2, Tigrex gets introduced. Tigrex is relentless. Tigrex keeps charging you. Tigrex wants you dead, and you specifically. Then the thing that, you know, a lot of people might have content with is, for example, you know, the hitbox of Tigrex is bigger than his model. So the thing is not only charging you, the thing does not only want you dead, it's also a fucking wall running straight ahead you with everything it can. That's fucking terrifying if you ask me. Like, I know people who've played for the first time, they played, you know, Freedom 2 or Freedom Unite for the first time, and were like, what am I supposed to do against the Tigrex? Because the Tigrex just came and fucking obliterated everyone that was new. It was, you know, the newbie wall, basically. Now, when you had a bit of experience, Tigers wasn't bad. You could very easily outplay Tigrex, actually. It wasn't the hardest monster, it's just... like with most monsters in general in Monster Hunter, I'd say, especially older Monster Hunter, they are more intimidating to you than they actually are. Like, okay, let me just charge up and bonk. Did you hit the monster before I could bonk? It was sleeping. That would have been a big bonk. But yeah, now every monster just gets exhausted really fast, and I think it's not even something that you can really balance well. Like, for example, I think in the third generation, exhaustion was just kind of on a timer, meaning if you fought against stuff like Tigrex, well, to a degree you just had to dodge the Tigrex until it stopped doing stuff. And then you could just fucking wail on it and like, whoops, the Tigrex is dead now. It couldn't fight back. And I think then they changed it to a degree that you had to do damage. Which is also a bit more, you know, yeah, it's not you know, that the monster is just falling over from itself. But it still makes it so like, oh, you hit the monster and at some point you just get more free hits, and while in previous generations it was so that, you know, you needed specific types of damage, like blunt damage from a hammer, for example, to hit the right body parts, you know, the head, so that then a monster builds up stagger and is staggered. Maybe. I mean, you know what? An exhaustion build is not really bad, I'd say. It's just... You kind of realize how... but you really see how easy it is to get monsters to be exhausted. But this is generally a thing in more modern titles. So, yeah, Claire, do you have the urgent quest now? The urgent quest, you need to talk to the big guy on the toad. Oh, so probably because you joined, probably because you joined us on the one quest and didn't start it from the beginning. let's just see what we can do here. Then, you know what? Just do the froggy quickly. Maybe do some urgent stuff. Oh, nice. Moneymaker's back. Elfie man. I love that the description is sweet potato with sweet bean garnishing. The combination just screams fine dining. I'm like, sweet potato and sweet beans seem like very cheap ingredients, actually. Tasty nonetheless, but like... Okay. I mean, depends on where you are, if they're grown locally or not. I mean, sweet potatoes can be grown in most parts of the world, if I'm not incorrect here. Do we have something? Oh, the Iron Devil, you say? 100 just... okay. Frozen core. Aha, 90-20 ice. Yeah, not today. Ironically, I think the Izuchi Hammer 2 might be considerable since it has 12 affinity and green sharpness. But, yeah, I wouldn't want to do the Great Izuchi now. Also, I have put in something else, so, you know. This is still fine. You don't need really that much more, actually. I just hope the next unlocks are pretty good. Alright, let's just take a look at Buggy. What do you have? Ice attack, attack boost, neat. Sleep resistance and ice attack. Sleep resistance, attack boost. Okay, so 2 attack boosts. That's fine, I suppose. Oh well. But yeah, I have the quest open, so you can actually accept it if you want. I think one of the most interesting parts is that what I kinda like to point out is that I find it so funny that people, you know, especially when they write fantasy stuff, they always just assume people have sugar. Like, ever thought about the fact that sugar, the only reason sugar took hold that much in our world, actually, had literally just 2 reasons. First of all, you could actually mass produce it. Wouldn't honey make more sense? Yeah, honey actually makes in a lot of ways more sense. Like, here's the thing. You don't just make just a cute little quiz. What do you think were the three most used, like the three most used ways to get things sweet. The one that gets me is the invention of chocolate with a recipe. Yeah. I mean, did you discover the cocoa? No, the cocoa beans were apparently just there all the time. Which is wild to me because, the cocoa beans were like, yeah. Oh, it goes there. That just is so wild that, you know, sometimes they're like, oh, we're importing sugar, and it's like, I feel like a lot of people really do not want to, you know, tamper with the fact that A, sugar was something that only rich people imported in Europe, and B, only was something rich people could import on that big of a scale due to the simple fact that, well, slave labor existed. And I'm not saying that a lot of, you know, fantasy authors who make zero, you know, thoughts about food, for example, endorse slave labor, but it's definitely something they overlook in the fact that, you know, sugar was only getting so successful and big because, again, you were able to cheaply produce it with slave labor. For most other people, yeah, honey. Honey is like one of the most used resources in the world. Yeah. Honey and fruit are literally one of the oldest and most used ways to make things sweet around the world. Like, I think people forget that you can make something like, well, a jam just without actually that much sugar. You can just literally cook it, just concentrate the sugar inside of the fruits and berries. You know, only later did the British actually deal with, you know, a lot more, you know, bitter stuff because they had sugar in spades, and, you know, before that it was honey. But especially in Europe, there's one thing they used a lot to make things sweet. And it might not be, you know, completely obvious because, yeah, you can make, for example, with beans, you can make things sweet because beans have an inherent sweetness. You just need to prepare them correctly. That's true. But in a similar vein, Europeans used onions to make things sweet a lot. Like, ever thought about the fact that onions were one of the most prolific things in the well, not only European kitchen, just in literally every kitchen around the world, because like because you can make like a shit ton of stuff with onions. Onions are insanely easy to grow. Onions can actually grow in soil that is not good for most other plants, like at all. And also you can literally grow onions in so many onions with so little effort. They were one of the first literally mass-produced vegetable in the world, simply by the fact of you cannot really go wrong with onions, actually. And fun fact, you know what one of the other things that you can use to make sweet? Garlic. You know what also is very, very easy to make, to just, harvest and plant? Garlic. So there are a lot of recipes that just say, you want something more sweet and sweet savory. They went and were like, yeah, you just need to use a lot of onions and cook them in. Onion soup is one of the oldest dishes in the world because A, onions are insanely, versatile. You can get sweetness, umami. You can get all of that out of simple onions that you just, brown with a bit of fat and then make a soup out of it. And you can do that in the middle of the fucking winter. A time where you usually don't have, anything else actually, because you have to rely on what's in your pantry. But onions? Oh, you have onions. You can make something with onions. But yeah, there's something about modern fantasy where I'm like, if you have a visual medium, like, there's stuff where I can just sit back and be like, yeah, I can excuse that, for example. Like, ironically, I'd say in Monster Hunter, as much as, you see that the world is quite isolated and, doesn't have the biggest technological progress, it's not that, inside of the villages, you're like, oh, hey, they're completely backwards. You see that they have a trading network, that they might not have, like, gigantic amounts of land, but the land they have, and oh, does it go to sleep? Does it go to sleep? Does it go to... No. Damn it. Like, yeah, it's very abundant in the Monster Hunter world, ironically. Like, for example, we kinda only see, you know, the monsters and the monster parts that we use, but think about it. Stuff like, I don't know what to say, but I think that basically they have a lot of, you know, monsters that are domesticated to a big degree, that have, you know, for example, the, how are the big furry things with tusks called again? So yeah, the peepers from, you know, that you see in, like, especially colder climates. Those are an abundant source of meat. In general, there's just so much to forage around, you know, villages. You don't really think about the... And also, you know, you see in the games that they have a lot of trade routes, secure trade routes. I can actually believe the Monster Hunter world when they're like, yeah, we have a pretty big amount of resources in our backlog, so we can have fortress cities and, you know, abundant food for, you know, hunters, etc. That's, for example, something I can believe. And also, you know, I see where they make stuff like, I mean, dangos are not, you know, like the hardest thing to make, I'd say. I think the weirdest thing, in my opinion, is still like that they don't have full kitchens in certain games, especially, you know, the... Here's like, oh, you get dangos. Yeah, the idea that you stack 3 dangos is cute and interesting, but like, it's kind of weird that hunters in, you know, this village get 3 dangos, you know, 3 dango steaks with 3 dangos on them and a drink, and in, you know, basically the Pocket Village, it's like, here's a lavish feast with like a gigantic amount of meat and rice and potatoes, and you're like, that is quite a difference actually. Why does it have similar effects? People are just... Okay, so here's a funny thing I've thought about. So... a while ago, we kind of talked about what is like the best story to tell in a in a setting for Monster Hunter. And to a degree, we kind of, you know, me and Agonia, we came to the conclusion that one of the best settings to have is just, you know, best ways to tell a story is slice of life. Oh yeah, sure. Because, if you think about it, Monster Hunter is about village life. Monster Hunter is about taking care of problems in and around your village that just pop up, or, you know, someone has like a weird request, or that like there's something blocking the trade route. That's the best thing to do. And so my mind just started thinking, like, okay, if we accept the premise that, you know, Monster Hunter is slice of life, I thought like, okay, ironically, that makes all the games and all the other media attempts they had that always are like, there's this big threat coming, this Elder Dragon or something around that, not good Monster Hunter stories. So what would the best way be to have a Monster Hunter story outside of Monster Hunter? And then I thought like, imagine if they made a Monster Hunter, you know, like live action series, but in the style of stuff like Stargate, where they just have like a weekly problem to solve around their village, and then there are special episodes where they just travel to other villages. I know, people would be like, oh, that would probably not be the highest quality thing, you know, and the props would probably be quite, you know, they would repeat them and they would, you know, and all that. I'm like, yeah, but that would be the charm, right? you would kind of want to have, if they ever did live action Monster Hunter series, that it just has this 2000 era feeling of too Malachite ore to make the cowboy hat. I mean, you can probably farm that when we are doing the urgent one. It shouldn't be the hardest thing to do. I mean, just do it on the side. You know what? Maybe I just take a few potions with me. No, not really. You know what? Just do this. But yeah, I think something like that would probably be a really goofy thing, because it's like, oh yeah, they have some small problem to take care of in the village, and there are some overarching plots, but they just be like get sidelined because there's a, you know, problem of the week to solve, and then the monster shows up, and then they bonk the monster. I don't know. I think that would probably be an interesting series, especially in the you know, in the day and age where series are like, and now we have to like spend 50 episodes just to explain why they are called Monster Hunters, and you're like, oh, come the fuck on. It's like this one post that talked about Surf Dracula. Like, if Surf Dracula was a series in the 90s or 2000s, he would just every week he would go out on the waves and surf and defeat something. And, you know, in the modern streaming age, it would be like, here's like 20 episodes just to explain how he picked up a surfboard, and then he maybe surfed like in the post-credits scene. Also, like, I would love to see something that's like, you know, oh hey, Monster Hunter series, like one of the old 2000 series, and I mean, it would piss people off, but it would be so funny if they actually went to like, they just had, you know, the obligatory, they are getting transported to the real world episode. You know, two-parter. It's always a two-parter, okay? They're like, oh fuck, where are we now? And then it's like, oh no, how do we escape from here? Yeah, that would be funny. And I think I forgot to eat dangos. I should talk less and focus more on dango eating, I think. Oh look, it's the platypus monster. Yeah, but I don't want to. It's like, I fucked up and I should live with that decision, you know? In older games, you also couldn't eat in the field, which is like... Did this thing just do a sumo ringer move? See? I just rolled to the side and it didn't hit me, even though I was very close to the monster. Hitboxes in this series are not that hard to dodge. Monsters seem big, but again, with the third generation, as I pointed out with Tigrex, they made the hitbox smaller. Which I think is a bit of a stupid decision, because I think they should have went and were like, okay, adjust the model to the hitbox and not the hitbox to the model. So since the third generation, you just have very forgiving hitboxes, actually. With the shape of a Titran, possibly made of souls. Okay, that's an interesting description. Yeah. But yeah, that's a personal thing. I generally am someone who's just like, yeah, if I can avoid just, you know, I just don't want to use as much from, you know, the newest games. Because, like, I don't really need to eat in the field. It's, like, already easy. I mean, I kind of like it. It has a bit of Zamitros, you know, by, you know, getting the belly big, but also, you know, kind of Jagras. It's a neat monster, like, and also definitely their take on a cover. Like, I mean, the new monsters are definitely inspired by yokai. Like, it lives in, you know, it lives in the water. It's kind of green. It looks a bit like, you know, it's supposed to be a kappa. Come back here. It was getting fun. I guess just extra sharpening, though I don't really need to. Okay, that was... Okay. No, but seeing this monster in action and spitting out things just kind of makes me want that they add Pariupuru from Frontier even more. Like, so basically the idea of a gluttonous Wyvern is not new. In Frontier they had actually a proto-Wyvern with that theme. And it was great, because it was basically an even bigger Tigrex that just ate everything in its path and vomited at you. I think the grossness is a good thing. And I know... Like, I mean, with grossness I mean like more in the sense of, you know, these are monsters, these are wild animals that sometimes really fear predators in the area. But I feel like the aesthetic choice of most of the mainline monsters that, you know, are described as quote-unquote gluttonous are more, look at those cute little goobers, and not, this thing will eat until it's, you know, fucking dying, and then will eat even more. And it's gonna be a fucking threat to you and everything else. It's like... It feels a bit like, you know, the main series of Monster Hunter just doesn't want to touch grossness anymore, which is... I don't know. Oh. Okay. That pathfinding didn't work. I do wonder how entertaining this is, though. Like, I know if I would have put in the Adventures of Matsune Hiku, which, you know what, maybe down the line in this year, we will actually continue the Adventures of Matsune Hiku. Especially, you know, when there's, you know, room after Baldur's Gate, and then maybe doing Grandia 2. You know, looking at that time frame, And I might get Agonia in for, you know, Freedom Unite, because Freedom Unite is a bit weird when, you know, playing together, so... I think that would be kind of fun to do. Because I do want to show off the more older games as well. I think I pressed the wrong button again, damn. Oh, there. I kinda wish this wasn't such a pushover. Oh, yeah. You know what? I maybe really just sit down and do a Freedom Unite playthrough again. Playing it on Wednesday was just kind of a bit like, yeah. I didn't want to show this off, you know? Rise is interesting. Rise is stuff I haven't played yet, so it's like, you know, having these streams, these intermission streams, and being like, oh hey, look, I haven't experienced that yet, ever. That's neat, but yeah, I do want to show off like the older titles at some point. And that will probably also go relatively fast. I mean, yeah. It basically comes down to the same thing that I say all the time. I think the core loop of Monster Hunter is so tight that you can't really fuck it up, is what I'm saying. There are going to be annoyances per title, and I think each title does things maybe better than others, and I think there are some that are better. But if you think about it like this, the core loop is you hunt monsters. You generally have a certain amount of skill sets in how you use your weapon. And as long as there's the setup of village quests and online hub, so that, you know, differentiated and you can just go in and play with your friends from the beginning and are not forced into dumb single player quests that are weird to access. Yes, I'm talking to you, Monster Hunter world. What the fuck did you think you said? Like, people are like, this is the best Monster Hunter. How can you sit here and say World is the best Monster Hunter when World has arguably the worst, like the worst keys, like the worst quest structure of all of the games objectively? You cannot come here and say to my face, oh no, actually Monster Hunter World does it better. What is better at saying, hey, to progress in the story and hub quests, you need to do certain quests that you can only start on your own, alone, and hit a specific cutscene, and only then you can send out SOS signals so your friends can join. Why is that supposed to be better? It's just, no, it's like, yeah, replaying World is like, I sit here and be like, no. Ah, yes, oh nice, sandy plains and flooded forest. Neat. Can we do something here? Okay, let's just do the thing that's, and there we go. What do we have? Hunt the Bishatten. Okay, Way of the Poke. Why is the Poke on the Eastern Continent? Did this also just piggyback on the Kuluyaku? Again, Poke is in the New World. How did all these monsters swim through 2 fucking oceans? Or was there like an illegal monster smuggling operation that just went horribly wrong?
Good, mean.
Oh, there's a Royal Ludroth. That's cute. That's a Baroth. Only to show that show at the very end of Icewind that world could in fact have cutscenes with multiple players. Yeah. What if they went around the other? Okay, you know what? That would be so funny because that would mean that that the guild had assembled, you know, all these people in Minegard to sail off west through the big continent if they could have just looked east. The monsters know the world is round, it's just the people that think it's flat. Oh, a Kizu, that's cute. Oh, Volvidion, obviously. Oh, Bazarios! Why is a Bazarios in the sandy plains? Okay. You know what? You know what? I am a Monster Hunter boomer. I will nitpick now. Puke. Yes, new world. Fine. You know what I mean when it's weird that it's here. Why is it in the sandy plains? Puke is a monster that eats off berries in forests. It should be in the flooded forest. Then people will say, but there was this one quest with the Puke in the desert area and world. The desert area in the world is literally, and you see it, there's part of the forest going into the desert area. It's literally there, and you have quests about something in the forest scaring small monsters into adjacent zones because of, you know, their survival instinct. The Puke does not live in sand areas. Also, Bazarios lives in volcanoes. Ooh, Rathian. And oh yeah, that's just that. Wait, those are also bouncing brawlers, hunt altar. Okay. I want off this ride. Do we want to? That's a new monster. You know what? Let's just look at the new monster. I hope this isn't like with elves in Lord of the Rings, where the world just is round for monsters but flat for people. I mean, let's just be honest here. I do like the idea of the guild just looking in the wrong place to get to the new world a bit more, because this would imply them being kinda stupid. Just insanely stupid, actually. You know what, let's just look at new gear that I can make, actually. Okay, there we have armor spheres finally. Yeah. The monsters have a very... I love this okay, stop. We need to actually talk about this for a second. So, the few monsters that we know that cross the ocean, you know, to the new world, are either really, you know, flying monsters, big monsters, or, yeah, elder dragons. There are some monsters that just have gigantic size. Oh boy, if I just think about it, what if there was like a gigantic Yamatsukami that actually just had New World monsters on its back and then just crash landed in the Old World? That, you know what, that would actually be possible, because Yamatsukami actually sucks up whole ecosystems. So Yamatsukami would fix this if they would bring it back, the cowards. I shouldn't be so combative. Yeah. Let's just see. Yeah, I could upgrade them. I have 18. I have booked June since that she's now returning to Jess. I put my face down where she can reach it, and she walks up to me and touches the tip of an... Aww, that is so cute. If your cat boops your snoot, that is so cute. That is so insanely cute, actually. Like, holy shit, is that cute. Oh, the Banana Harbor. Yeah. Do they have good stuff? Insected head armor made for a certain aristocrat causes quite a stir at parties. Recoil down, paralysis attack, evade window? Paralysis attack and recoil. Evade window, I suppose, if you're playing stuff like Lance, I think. Yeah, that would be the thing you pick for evade lancing, ironically. Tetranon, what do you have? Speed eating makes sense. Normal, rapid up. Okay, that's an gunner armor, special ammo boost, heroics, hunger resistance. Yeah, that's a gunner armor. Tetranon is a gunner armor. I don't really need that. Probably would need yeah, armor sphere. Nope. Don't have enough armor spheres yet. Weapons. Let's just look at what we have here. No, we don't want this. Kimura Hammer 3. Anteca Antler. Oh, really? I would need fucking Anteca Antlers for that. Oh, great. Oh, jolly. Oh, for... I need to mine more, is what I'm seeing here. Also, that's not bad. I mean, I think the biggest problem here is just the poison stat. I do not know how effectively poison is in this game, because in most Monster Hunter games, poison is just not worth it, like at all. It's like neat, but not really. So Warhammer, Macalite Crystal, and oh, that would make me 110 and green sharpness. That's neat. There's a lot more trees here, damn. Kuluyaku tree, okay. Atsuros tree. Okay, oh yeah, bone tree. I need dragon husk shard. Where the fuck do I get that? So break the game with a sickening crunch. Let's defend. Crutch, you mean? Oh, well, no, I get it. Yeah, that's like, you just look at this and be like, ugh. It's so stupid. Like, look at how much you just unlock after the first rank, and the first rank is not hard. I'm not telling people like, oh hey, it's like, you know, you know what? I'm gonna upgrade to this one. No, I didn't want to equip that. Fuck it. And then I just will mine a Macalite ore and see if I can get Light Crystal. Otherwise, yeah, where do I get Dragon Husk Shard? That's like... Let me just look it up. In Frost Islands. Oh. Okay. Drinker's shot is only available at high. What? What? That seems wrong. Grizzly Glutton, Plump and Juicy Frosty Paradise. Yeah. IGN, you're writing bullshit on your website. It's only available in high rank. What? No. I mean, yeah, it is definitely weird. Again, I know that people are like, you know, that people defend this, like, you know, oh, maybe some people need it, but it's just like, why? If the game is fun, and I mean, you know, you can just make stuff here, you know? Oh wait, I already have it. I'm so stupid actually. You know what, let's just just get Macalite ore and light crystal. Yeah, we know that, It's, they already did that with World and Iceborne, which is just, again, it is kind of stupid if you think about it, because it's like, why do you have all of this thing when you basically say people, yes, see all of this? See all of this content, all of this stuff you can engage with. Or, you know, you just give us one more bone and you have just a straight up better hammer than everything else. Why? What is the point? What is the point of crafting a progression system through multiple ranks? And I keep saying that because people say, oh, in MMOs it's the same. Yeah, the mentality is the same, but like, is that actually an excuse? Should that be an excuse? Like, Monster Hunter, you know, Monster Hunter like older MMOs, and people, you know, compared. I think it's always like, oh, in MMOs you also want to go to the end game, which is like, no. You know, maybe I am old, you know, from the before times, where, you know, the point of an MMO was the way to the top. Like, I know this sounds weird, but all of the you know, old MMOs, even World of Warcraft, were not made so that you can, you know, that you just rush to the end game. That was something that was added later because, you know, during classic World of Warcraft and classic and, you know, the Burning Crusade, people talked about endgame. People talked about raids. But you need to keep in mind, one of the main features of raids that made them so interesting, that this quote-unquote endgame content made it in most MMOs interesting, was two things. First of all, it was actually fucking hard. So you not only needed to get to that content, and you also needed to, and I mean this very specifically, go and yeah, let's just do this. You needed to get to that content, and even then, not everyone was able to do that content. Because to do a raid in World of Warcraft, you needed, in the beginning, like 40 people and then 25 people. This was just a balancing adjustment, which was actually pretty good. But yeah, you need to have 25 people. And those 25 people needed to be organized somehow. This is how you... I mean, it is... I can get why people do it, but it's like still... low rank and high rank should still be fun to play. I think on a fundamental level, adding defender gear, even if I know people would be like, oh, but I have the progression already. It's like, well, then Capcom should finally make cross progression, actually. At least. Like, this isn't just, this is like not a defense for you know, the gear. At best, this gear is for people who want to, you know, just get to the progress where they were already. This is just a band-aid on the fact that they released their game on multiple consoles and do not have the most basic modern feature of you can take your progress with you. Something that isn't even hard to implement. That isn't even that hard to implement backwards. You just literally need to set up the server structure and account system to, well, share data. Because the save data is pretty much the same everywhere. Do you need something, Claire? Because yeah, I think in a big way it still devalues the game, because I know a lot of people oh, no worries. I know a lot of people who came into the series with, you know, World and or you know Iceborne. Oh. It's sort of cool that they remade it though. But yeah, yeah. I mean, actually, Pyramid was there already in the original. I mean, you couldn't access it, but yeah, in like the in like one of the backmost areas, there was always a pyramid in the third generation. I think like to a degree, they probably went with, oh hey, you can now run up the pyramid. This is why I thought, you know, they actually added the game. They added this area because it was always an interesting set piece, but well, yeah. There we go. But I guess it is mainly about this is set in the same region as 3. Oh, hello. Nice. It's another monkey. I generally like it when they add more Pelagi. But yeah, if you make a game about, you know, progressing through ranks, if you make a game about doing, you know, hunting monsters basically, getting gear and having this nice track upwards, I think to a big degree you should have, you shouldn't need to add stuff that like lets people skip that, because you just can't admit it's apparently shit. And I don't think that is what you want from a game, you know? Like, I put effort into this game. Oh, well, let me put it more like this. In a perfect world, they would have put like a lot of effort into curating a list of monsters for you to play through in the Gathering Hub. They would have made it so that it escalates very gradually, so you learn new things over time. That you know, have a fun time doing that. And I think a lot of games in the series actually managed to do that. I think Freedom Unite is a perfect example of a game where I definitely have the feeling that if you play... Oh, okay, that's neat, actually. You know, where playing through low rank is fun. Because playing through low ranks should be fun. I feel like that is probably the weirdest thing in discourse that just happened over the... You know, especially when World came out, because then people started comparing the series more and more to MMOs, where like... Really? And the discourse about MMOs is already fucked if you think about it. Like, people are like, oh, it's just low rank. Low rank sucks. And it's like, why? Like, yeah, you're playing with worse weapons. You are playing with armor sets that do not have as many skills as the higher ones, but that's also interesting in and of itself. This is what I find so fascinating about, you know, the current discourse, because personally I like that. I always like that. You will never have a perfect, you know, lowering is just a game. It's just a game, a part of the game where you just don't have a lot of stuff. It sucks to a degree because you're a new hunter. The first monsters you get the first monsters you will need to you know, hunt. You will see that, you know, your weapons are not good. You will realize that the gear you can make is not the best. Oh, nice. Qualified door. That means I should definitely keep in mind. Yeah, fuck you, Royal Drop. And I just get Earth Crystals, damn. Fuck me, I guess. Yeah, you just have this feeling of, you know, being underpowered, needing to gear up against like a whole different part, a whole charge of monsters that you just are not as proficient to fight. But that's actually good. Like, a lot of people just point out that, oh yeah, the weapons are not as good. True, but without that you wouldn't have any comparison to, you know, the later game. Like, imagine if you started Monster Hunter out and you just had good gear, you just had good weapons. To a degree, this feeling of you're a newbie and you suck just wouldn't happen, actually. Like, how could it happen? At that point, you're not a newbie. You're already someone with, like, an established gear set. You don't need to work around all the small problems that, you know, a new hunter would have. You wouldn't gradually make your way up the food chain to hunt bigger monsters, to equip better gear. The fundamental identity of this game series is just that, and ripping that out is, in my opinion, just antithetical for, you know, solutions, or you know, as a solution to problems that should not exist in the first place. Like, again, for example, progress. Cross saves should be a thing. Which, ironically, you know, if you look at older games, they would actually allow you to take over a bunch of characters that you made and such, because even when they were on similar platforms. Hello, Shadow Sonic 06. That's a name. Let's just eat in peace and get back to bonking the monkey. Good luck with that. I mean, it's not that hard. There we go. And you just walk. No playing on PC. I like that they, you know, at least some ideas I find interesting, you know, that they expanded on, you know, when you actually flash some monster that they just go wild, because, I mean, that would make sense, especially if you're a monkey. You're like, something is there that wants me dead. It flashed me. That's not good. I should just start flailing around, because that's actually a good defensive strategy. So, let's... Do we find more mining stuff? There's more potions. Oh, mining. Nice. Light crystal. Oh, wonderful. Oh, how wonderful. It is still kind of interesting to see the flooded forest again. Also, yeah, well done. And then we have the longsword trip again. And let's just take some stuff here before I forget it. Nice. Oh, Dragon Husk shot. Nice. There we go. I like that monkey. Get back here. Monkey praying. And I could just pray, like, oh, please don't hurt me. Which is a problem, because I really can't do that. There we go, I think it's... Oh yeah, it's fleeing. Okay, let's see, is the mining outcrop back? It's praying to the monkey lords. No, the monkey lords will probably not answer it. It's way too much. It has way too much time, you know, burning down enemy bases with big ass laser guns. Okay, that joke will probably just get 2 people. I think I need to go. Wait, I need to go here. I think here. No. Ah! Wait, I was red. Once not a Supreme Commander crossover, you can hunt the experimental mutants. I mean, you know what? It is actually kind of interesting to think about the fact that... Oh wait, there was a Horizon Zero Dawn crossover already. just, you know, no robot. You could just make your cat a robot. It was cute, but you know. Oh. Wait. Did it? Oh, went back again. Am I just stupid right now? Because I swear it was not. Yeah, look at me. Playing the Monster Hunter series for as long as... Oh, there's money. For a long as time, and then you just like... Where is the monster? And... the answer is, hey, Nia, you're stupid. What? No! I'm still not that good with this whole... There we go. Seriously, what do Jaguars do here? Even though the Great Jaguars is not... Ooh! Mechalite ore. Nice. Oh, there you are. Oh! It actually takes a bit of time again. There can only be one bonk. Can I maybe say that the head is the area of the hammer? Longswords, you go to the tail, you need to cut the tail. The hammer bonks the head, the longsword cuts the tail. It reminds me of this one kangaroo thing they made for Generations. The mining outcrop is not back yet. There, the monkey is dead. Okay, so you can collect the fruits it drops. That's actually kind of neat. I mean, yeah, there are actually a bunch of monsters that bonk, I'd say. With different parts of their body, but they still bonk. Like, for example... You know what? Uragan is probably one of the most prolific bonkers, because it bonks the earth and then you're like, oh no, it tremors. It's like, that's not nice. Okay, that actually is a neat picture. Which is in the air and like, woo! Ninja jump from above. Yes. Da, 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 da. Take off. Don't even need to think about that. Yeah. Let's just see what we can do in terms of weapons now. Because we definitely need some better ones. Oh yeah, right. Kamakuru needs more Macalite ore and Tekka, which would would be green sharpness. Yeah, more Macalite. That would be the next hammer I think I go to, because, you know, 110 raw green sharpness, at least a bit sharpness, that's good. Ironically, sharpness in my opinion is ironically, I think sharpness is not that important anymore. You know, how much sharpness you get in your title since World. I mean, now people can say, oh hey, higher levels of sharpness are good, but the thing is, in older Monster Hunter titles, even though you could point out that it was a bit weird, and frankly it was, a weapon not having a lot of a high sharpness meant that you had to resharp a bunch of times. And you only had 10 whetstones, meaning you had 10 sharpenings per hunt, basically. You could mine more, but I think whetstones were limited to 10, right? 20. 20? Really? 20? Oh yeah, right. Still, you were basically limited in what you can do. So if you had to resharpen a lot, well, you had problems. Oh, alloy. Oh, wait. I need Macalite ore for alloy, which has water attack. But speed sharpening. That's actually. I mean, I could slot something different here, but like. I could. Yeah, well, speed sharpening is neat, but not, you know, relevant. What do we have? Item prolonger, stun resistance, okay. Wide range and maximum might. What does maximum might do? Increases affinity if stamina is kept full for a period of time. That's neat, but yeah, not the best. So let's just see. I definitely just need more Macalite ore. I probably should look out where to get that from. And oh, actually, this one is okay. Because so just so you know what how you read this, the sword bar is showing you what kind of sharpness you have, and the upper one is showing you how much sharpness you have regular. So this hammer would have 130 attack, but just yellow sharpness. But if you had I think artisan was the skill that increases your sharpness level, you would get green sharpness. Then this would be actually quite a useful hammer. The Kudo Bludgeon also not that bad, but I think this one is just, yeah, the easiest one to get. Let's just see where Macalite ore is actually. But yeah, I mean, Poison Sword can be, at this level, maybe useful if it just is overall more damage. But Poison in general, I don't think it's that useful. I only think Poison is useful in Frontier. Because, the thing about Poison is that it's just, a bit of extra take damage you do on top of your normal damage in in most Monster Hunter titles. The thing is, what they changed in Frontier, which makes it way more powerful and useful there, is that it's percent damage. So that's point one. That, like, poison, if a monster is poisoned, it does a certain amount of percent damage over time. That is just really fucking useful. But second of all, one of the key differences of Frontier, which, this is what people laud Frontier for, is that Frontier just has a shit ton of defense on monsters. So, and since Poison actually circumvents defense, so it doesn't, it does percent damage, it actually makes for it actually makes it pretty good. Like, we played it a bit, and, yeah. So, low rank, it really is just the white and blue ones and flooded sandy plains lava caverns. Okay. I just looked at the map and I realized they hit a bunch of mechalite like ore veins on the pyramid? Why are there... Okay. You know what? Let's just go into the sandy plains. Yeah, I did mention poison. Again, I don't think poison is probably the thing you want to keep doing, but especially at lower ranks, I wouldn't say... you basically should just look out for two things, like have a relatively well raw and sharpness, and then just combine that with maybe a status effect, because like elements not that good, I'd say, overall in lower ranks. Like if you, for example, have something like paralysis, you're doing well for the group. The rest is like, yeah, have mechalite ore and they just, go big damage number bonk. Let's see. What do you have here? Meow stock. Yeah, potion, barrel bombs. Already very... Let's just get some money together so I can actually then... So basically what I usually do is I go and buy, potions in bulk and then honey, and then just get a lot of honey. And then I, just combine a bunch of fucking potions, mega potions. But you get so much on the hunt in this game, it's like... You don't even need to do that a lot. Like... I think I went in with less potions than I went out with, which is like... Huh. Oh, capture one large monster. That's at least something. I guess. I guess. I haven't done these. Oh, yeah, right. Let's see what we have here as well. Way of the Pookie. Okay, chat. Pookie of yeah. So this would definitely be the last hunt of the day. So Pookie or Baroth, because it's like we should show off the sandy plains a bit, What is reinvent? Oh yeah, well, Videon, because it's Okay, you know what? Again, I will just be a nitpicky idiot here, but Volvidion is a ball. Yes, it rolls and it bounces, but it's a ball. If you make a joke about reinventing the wheel, use Uragan. That actually rolls like a fucking wheel. Ah, yeah, you know what, Pookie. I don't think a lot of people actually like Barov. I actually like Barov a lot, but I think Barov is one of those perfect low-level entry monsters. Like, I mean, a ball is a reinvented wheel if you look at it. I guess it's just also inefficient as shit. I really wish we also had sentient cats in our world that would just live side by side with us. The world would be a much better place if we had that. We just have to kind of with actual cats, who are still amazing. Don't get me wrong, cats are perfect. Cats are lovely. It's still a bit sad. Oh wait, I should... Ah well, there's probably gonna be antidote there anyway. So yeah. They really added more runes to the areas. Okay. Listen, I know you wanted to make it like intimidating, like, oh hey, a lifeless stretch of land with bloodlust and all of that. But okay, again, the nitpick comes out again. The sandy plains are not like a lifeless stretch of land. They're actually... So the sandy plains, as you can see, have kind of foliage here. Interesting how this is supposed to be a treacherous stretch of land. Treacherous lands, those three are clearly undead. Yeah! You need to keep in mind. What is even funnier is that the sandy plains are probably one of the most life-filled deserts in the whole series. Just full stop. Because they are a savanna region. Is down. Look, it's so lifeless. They even have fish in here. I haven't fished this. See? Caught a big one. Oh, what's that? Okay. But yeah, the sandy plains are, by design, well, a savanna region near a desert. You know what? Not that wrong considering what some hunters do. So, I do want to look out for some... Wait, can I get up there? I think I can. Wait, there's stuff up here. Ooh! This ore. Yes! More mechalite ore. Nice. We are in business right now. Who's there? Oh! It's Barov! Look at it. Walk. I like the old stinker. Like, yeah, this is kind of ironic because, you know, every other desert so far in the series, up until, you know, the third generation, was like an actual fucking desert. You went, like, you were in an outcrop under rocks, and you left the desert, and you were just straight into the middle of a sand ocean. What? Barov is great. It's a wonderful, cute game. Wonderful, cute monster. Oh, you said game. Wait, I shouldn't do it like this. Okay, can't get up there. Yeah, like, you are literally in the middle of a fucking, you know, just actual desert. The first and second generation deserts were just, like, absolutely unkind places to live. And you still had to send stuff out there because from time to time, something like a Diablos just decided, I'm leaving that desert. And that desert was already too close to comfort. A fucking desert was too close to comfort for everyone. Oh, there's another mining outcrop. Oh, neat. But yeah, the sandy plains, ironically, one of the more, oh, yeah, the, waterhole, I think. I think there's more ore over here, though. So let's look at some of that. Oh. And then they made the sandy plains, which was like, oh hey, it's more of a savanna. Oh, there's a little video. So this is very funny that they are now saying this is a treacherous and lifeless stretch of land. And it's like, no it fucking isn't. This is the closest, you know, we ever had a savanna in this game. Because you know what they did later? After the third gen, after they made the savanna? They went and remade the, you know, the literal desert of the first game. Oh yeah, it had an oasis in there, but cool. The rest was just, fuck you. Oh, hello there. You know what? I can get over later. Okay. I mean, I think I rolled, but oh well. Oh, Remobra. Don't mind if I do. That's new. It's a small... Huh. The first small spider. Okay. When the hell did the Poke lose so much material? But yeah, they just remade the fucking desert. And then they made the whole thing in world, which you could say is not directly a lifeless stretch of land because it is like directly adjacent to the forest. And then I went straight back to this one here, so you know, I guess lifeless stretch of land indeed. Nice. One more malachite ore. Machalite ore. Why do I call it malachite ore? Why do I have the name malachite in my head? Malachite is real world mineral, machalite is clearly based on it. Oh! Yeah, that actually could be it. So I just forgot that I had a real world material in my head. Classic Mia. No. You know what? I kind of wish they would bring back stuff like the hardcore monsters from Frontier. Like, you know, that had some visual changes. They would just make the nutsack bigger beneath the chin. And maybe make it two. That would be very funny. What? Oh yeah, Supremacy Pookie. People, is that a bald's chin? And then the guild is like, this is the peak of Pookie. What? You can definitely speak a bit louder. I know you're ill and you can't play, but if you want to comment on Supremacy monsters, you can be a bit louder. Okay, so, okay, so yeah, Supremacy Terrestrial was actually kind of cool. I also like the name Supremacy Monsters. It's like, you're like,
had that, but every Teostra is missing, basically.
Yeah, more AoE and burns itself.
That too. But like, you know that Teostra is like using gunpowder basically to explode a lot of stuff?
Oh yeah, right.
Like, it produces gunpowder itself. So Supremacy Teostra makes a fuck ton of smoke.
Yeah, that's actually kind of
interesting.
interesting.
See anything.
That's actually kind of interesting if you think about it. They explained, in old Monster titles that Teostra is producing, it produces explosions with gunpowder. So like you're sitting there, and be like, okay, you know what? Is it a bit weird? But Eldring, who cares? You can just accept an explanation. I think this is usually where the Monster Hunter excels, because you can't really be like, oh hey, what is the exact explanation for how stuff works?
Probably something it eats.
Yeah. You just come up, they're just like, oh yeah, this is the material it uses, and you're like, oh yeah, you know what, that makes sense why it, has explosions. But, true, in newer titles, I think it should produce smoke. Like, I mean, okay, we are, on, like, Wilds will be on the PS5, and, Xbox Series X. Still, one hell of a stupid console name. But, like, it's gonna be on an insanely performative engine on really powerful consoles. Just yeah, something that uses gunpowder should be like producing smoke. It would be kind of interesting if Teostra actually made smoke screens specifically with the gunpowder.
Yeah, smoke screen, fire graph. You may not see it, but it can just make not able to use fire breath. Everything will be covered. And some explosions.
Malachite as deep green can be used for jewelry and decorative items. Good to know. Why are you talking, Master Utsushi? Blade softens died. But hey, good to know.
I know a bit about it since
I mean, yeah, I think they should go more into that. But also, one ecology thing. I mean, I definitely rustled a few feathers when I said they should bring back Lao Shan Lung and just make it a normal monster fight, which is, I think, what a lot of people missed is that I said make it a normal monster fight, because yeah, Lao Shan Lung the Siege wasn't that good. I like it because what it tried to do back then on the system, but it wasn't good. I know that. I'm not stupid, but also like when you now have like gigantic open worlds. You can literally make it so that a Lao Shan Lung can just walk through that world, actually. Like, you can make Lao Shan Lung an actual fight in Wilds and just be like, look how big our our hunting areas are now, that we can fit in the monsters. We had to make specialized arenas for our first game. That would be cool. Same with Yamatsukami, but
you could make it big.
Oh yeah, you could definitely make it big. That would be cool. But also, one major thing. is that if you actually, you know, bring back Teostra and you make Teostra, you know, be more like, oh hey, it behaves like actual gunpowder. You know what you also should bring back? Gogmazios. If we talk about the idea that you bring back siege monsters at actual fights, you know, that you can do in the open world, and I highly say they should do that, because it would be very interesting if something gigantic as the Lao Shanlong ignores you for the, you know, for the first part, and then starts actually being like, oh no, I fucked you up, you hurt me enough, and you're like, oh no, it fights back. That would be cool. But imagine, you know, especially since those, you know, ex-siege monsters would be like absolute calamities. And you need to keep in mind, Gogmazios is a fucking huge elder dragon. It's covered in a sticky oil substance that eats gunpowder. So this is why it usually raids, well, cities, fortresses. Fortresses are getting attacked by it because there's just a lot of gunpowder there. In Wilds though, you could easily make it so that, you know, you go in there, you get the quest, hunt the Teostra, and you're like, oh, Teostra. You know, it's the end of firing. I did a Teostra already. Teostras are easy, and then you fight that fucking Teostra, and then suddenly you hear like more like loud stuff, like boom, boom. You're like, what the fuck is that? And then, you know, Gogmazios just breaks through the area and just starts eating the fucking Teostra in front of your eyes, and you're like, oh, I have a problem now. And this is what I say with, you know, make siege fights actual monster fights, because else you would just leave so much potential. You just would have, you know, would just squander so much potential in all of that. Oh yeah, and also one thing, I really hate the fact that they are always inventing new monsters for... Wait, is it back down again? Oh, it's back down again. That they always invent new monsters for stuff. Like, we had palamutes in this game, okay? I know I make jokes about not liking dogs, and there's a lot of personal stuff, you know, having... Like, I just have problems actually, you know, hearing dogs bark. I just tense up if there's like a realistic dog bark, even though I know there is no dog there. I was just attacked by dogs a few too many times as a child. But it's like, the more I see the palamutes, I'm like, yeah, okay, you know what, they're fine. At some point when you make a mount in the series, it just had to be introduced, you know? And having rideable dogs is like not the worst idea for Monster Hunter. It kinda pairs well with the Calicos. So in Wilds you just ride a new random wyvern that was never introduced into the series before. Why didn't they just, you know, again, have another wyvern we already have that, you know, fulfilled the similar stuff? Like, oh, what does it do? Traverse and glide and be big enough for everyone. You mean traverse and glide? So you mean Tobi Kadachi? And probably people would be there, oh, you can't just make Tobi Kadachi. You could. I mean, yeah, it would maybe be kind of funny that you have, you know, tamed Tobi Kadachis that you would then use to fight, you know, hunt actual Tobi Kadachis. What? yeah, probably smaller relatives, but like, it's just so wild to me, wild, that they just have to, that, you know, in the video game industry, especially with longer running series, that they introduce, you know, features, or, you know, make features more different, and then just reinvent the wheel for some reason. Like, also here, it's like, oh yeah, we need, we want you to have, you know, more specialized attacks and stuff. And it's like, okay, this is why you do wire bug attacks. And then I just sit there being like, but they're basically the same as, you know, except for the movement. You could still keep that, but the rest, that's hunting arts from generations. Just visually, it's like, why would you need a different explanation to do the same thing as the previous game? It's just weird to me, you know? Because they're clearly iterating on things they already had, but then just completely rebrand them in-game. I mean, yeah, it's like, again, it's not that I don't have stuff against that. Also, hi, Kana, how are you doing? The thing is just, they already had something in the series. You're like, oh hey, you could expand on that, make stuff about that, but then it's just like, nah, now it's just bugs. Like, okay? You know, the bugs for traversal? Sure, you need some explanation for that, actually. Like, the main problem they just have there is that you can't just make a hook go into every wall. It kind of needs to be in midair, so it's like, oh yeah, it's just, you know, a certain form of, just insect that you hook onto. It's like, I guess. If that's your explanation, I guess. I don't have a problem with that. It's just, again, why do you introduce new mounts when you had Palamutes? When you had, like, an actual customization system for Palamutes? And then it's just, oh yeah, no, we're just ditching them now. What?
In my opinion, they shouldn't have introduced Palamutes the way they did anyway.
Yeah, it's like...
I know why they did. You know, it fits. But like, okay, this one village has Palamutes and nobody else ever.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. You could say that Palamutes might have been just a very, very recent thing they did, like over the past 50 years or so. Or, you know, maybe some Palamutes lived before that, but, you know, Kamakura was like, oh yeah, we need everything.
We should have seen some of them.
Yeah, that would be true. It's like they were just introduced there. You know, I don't hate them. This isn't like saying, oh, Palamutes are shit. It's just their introduction is like
Not well done.
it's not well done. They're just, you know, they're just suddenly there in an area of the game and just in the game world.
Not really. We have
No.
several ways we could have done.
Oh yeah, there's just stuff where they just don't really take that much care. I mean, hey, one of the few things they could have just done with Wilds is the simple thing that you could say, hey, that one village tamed and trained Palamutes, something that and here's the thing. They could have explained this quite easily, actually. See, the Eastern continent is a lot more rural and, you know, disconnected from the main guild. So the villages are not in, you know, under that much guild control mainly. You could say that they, you know, they're mainly on their own, and, you know, Kamakura just was like, no, we're training Palamutes now, and we will see. And then due to the events of Rise, you know, doing the whole thing with the stampede and such, Palamutes are like, you know, are seen as actually valuable. So the guild actually adapts using Palamutes for their expeditions in inland. That would actually tie it very neatly together, as, you know, one village had them before because they weren't something sanctioned by the guild, aka the arbiter of how you interact with the environment in the Monster Hunter world. Then they see that that Palamutes actually hold value, that you can actually, use them well, and then, not a harm to the overall environment. And so Palamutes get adapted into generally the whole thing. And you would say, but Palamutes can't glide. Okay, here's the thing, I'm a bit cliche. They're coming from a ninja village. You could literally just say the village just invented like a glider technique for Palamutes that they put on.
Yeah.
To just enhance it to work. You could even have like someone from the village join the expedition in Wilds, because Wilds is definitely about the hinterlands of the New World. It would not have been hard, and it would make like a very nice, connection between, well, Rise and Wilds. In hindsight, bringing the poison sword to fight with the poison monster was foolish.
I mean,
Wilds is not using Palamutes. Yeah, they just have a new wyvern.
ironically, for some reason, lots of poison monsters are resistant to poison, even though they shouldn't be.
Ironically, yeah. I mean, I know people would be like, wait,
Some.
yeah, like that's actually kind of ironic. If you look at them at our world, most monsters that are poisonous or venomous are actually not immune to their venom. Maybe to their own sometimes, yeah, but then only to their own. Only stuff like honey badgers, for example, or predators, especially mustelid. I think mustelid, like weasels and stuff. They actually developed a lot of resistances against a lot of venoms, actually. So predators who hunt poisonous or venomous animals are actually resistant to that, or they're birds, and learn how to. So that's actually an interesting thing. See, Australia has a problem with giant toads, and those toads are poisonous because they have like a poison sac in them. Yeah. But a certain Australian predator bird, I don't know what it was again, a bird of prey, actually learned. I think they're closer related to ravens even. They learned how to actually just pick out the poison sac without rupturing it and throwing it away and eating the toad. So the toad plague actually gets adapted because Australian birds just were like, oh, I have found your weakness, little toad. I have a niche now, which is just cool because it's evolution in action.
I don't think that are the same toads.
Okay, it's what?
But it could be.
That you can lick and get. I think they are. I think those are they. It's what they are. It's basically the birds kill the toad, lay it on their back, rip it open, take out the poison sac, and then just pick the meat out. So they don't touch the skin, which is on the ground and already up in dirt. So the poison that is on the skin gets neutralized by the dirt around it. Again, yeah, Australian birds are built different. You're very much right with that.
Squid poison is generally very underutilized in games. It's often very weak and
I mean, let's just be real here. I know I hate to do that. A comparison, but the Soul series is one of the few game series that actually does poison well, in my opinion.
Yeah, but you can heal too easily from it.
That is also true. I think poison should be stronger. And now, yeah, you're probably going to be like, what? Nia, are you stupid? Are you telling the guy who literally said in an interview, I just can't help myself put poisonous swamp in my games, that the poison should be more strong? Yes, I fucking did. Get over it. It's just poison. Yeah. It reminds me of how Japanese honeybees will swarm Japanese giant hornets and encase them in a ball of wriggling bees and heat their body temperature up high enough to kill them. Yeah, that's actually, poison is way too weak in Dark Souls games. You just need to be a bit prepared. But hey, I'm also that person that says Dark Souls needs a hard mode, because it does. Like, not that people are gonna be like, oh, but here's the thing: when people talk about Dark Souls needs an easy mode, which is like fair. Like, I'm completely agree with that. Like, I think when we talk about games, there is a certain structure games have and certain focuses games have. Dark Souls, for example, is a game not only about combat. I would say combat is ironically, if you really take the purest Dark Souls thing and not what happened after Bloodborne, and Bloodborne even didn't fall on that, it just had good combat actually. The Souls games are about exploration and taking in the world. I do think having an easy mode with, scaled down enemy placement and what they do is good. But on the other hand, if you add an easy mode to Dark Souls, you should also add a hard mode to Dark Souls that changes up enemy placement and adds different and harder and more enemies to the game. And ironically, they already tried that. And I know, people will probably be like, wait, what? When did Dark Souls have a hard mode? Dark Souls 2. Dark Souls 2 came out on the PlayStation 3, Xbox 360 and PC. It was very beloved because people say this is a very well thought out experience from Software veterans and reminds them of a lot of Kingfield games, which there are like a lot of connections actually to old Kingfield games in Dark Souls 2. However, then they made Scholar of the First Sin. Scholar of the First Sin fundamentally remixes how the game is being played. It is essentially kind of a hard mode for people who already played through Dark Souls 2. And people liked that. I think this is not talked about enough, but Scholar of the First Sin is the biggest argument to having an easy and hard mode. Obviously, it shouldn't just be scale, how much damage and, damaged enemies do and defense they have. To make it elegantly, you should adjust your game. But From Software has a fucking big, about way more than just exploration, it's about learning patterns. It's, I'd say you're right. I'm not saying it's just exploration. It's just that exploration is a very core aspect, not the combat, especially in Dark Souls 1 and 2 and such. Because they are primarily about...
you can look like a Star Wars.
Oh, come on! You really had to do that joke?
Yeah.
So that's just one thing where I'm like... Yeah, Monster Hunter, Dark Souls has core pillars, and I would ironically say combat is not one of the core pillars, at least for Demon Souls, Dark Souls, and Dark Souls 2. It is relevant, yeah, it is important, that's the thing. But you play Dark Souls for, finding out what is in the world, and exploring it, and,
finding new fashion stuff.
But also, and this is kind of more the important part where combat and exploration fuse, which is why I say this is kind of a more important pillar. As you said, with patterns, it's about finding, finding your way through a world. Combat is part of that. Exploration, finding passages and finding items is part of that. But combat is just a part of that bigger part in Dark Souls.
A sub-pillar?
A sub-pillar, yeah, so to say. And they later did more focus on the combat because people said, oh, it has so many great boss fights in combat, and it's like... So because I like the form of combat. You should definitely play Dark Souls 1, it's great for exploration actually. Actually really great for exploration. I think Dark Souls 1 has probably one of the...
I mean, they stumbled into the problem with the series.
Yeah.
That people are generally pattern recognition machines. So a good part of people who played those games have no problems with those games.
Yeah, that's true.
And so they just made longer and longer attack chains. So you just wait a bit until you see how it goes, and then you kill the boss anyway.
Dark Souls 1 has probably one of the best designed open worlds in gaming history. It is an open world. Just it's it just opens up gradually. It connects back. It's intentionally designed without fast travel in mind, so you explore the world.
Yes.
So that's just really wonderful, wonderfully made in my opinion actually.
That kind of was lost.
But I mean, this is why I'd also say exploration is kind of important, because for me, the exploration the exploration of, you know, in Demon Souls and especially Dark Souls and what you saw in Dark and what also was still in Dark Souls 2 was still more present than the more linear approach of Dark Souls 3. But yeah, and you know, compared to that, Monster Hunter is you know, there the core pillar is actually you hunt monsters. The combat is the whole core. So this is why I always say, like, the Defender tree is just like, why would you put something in the game that lets people skip the combat? If your you know early game isn't fun to play, you made something fundamentally wrong. If you ask me, something just went horribly wrong then. This should be fun. Oh well. You know what? Yeah, I just want to see what Puke can, but like obviously poison attacks. I mean, yeah, Claire. If you want to, there's poison attack on Puke, so maybe you can stack poison attack up to 3 if you want to do that a bit.
At least 2.
Oh yeah, and Constitution, which is like, what, it's, I mean, that's neat for, you know, if you play lands. Well, actually, seriously, I think you have poison attack 2 you get here, and Constitution can be quite useful. And you have poison attack on Froggy, so you just need to look here. So poison attack is on the male, Constitution on the Puke male. So you have poison attack 2 on the coil. And look at that. Yeah, just literally Puke coil, Froggy male, and you have poison attack 3. And then you can still say, like, I don't know,
something else.
Yeah, Constitution 1 maybe, or
crit eye or attack from other things a bit as well.
Yeah, true. That would be definitely a good setup for if you like actually, yeah, if you're running a poison longsword. Crit eye, that would be. Let me just look. We have those 2 done. So crit eye, you know, Lagombi would be a thing. You would have crit eye 1, and Lagombi Greaves, and then we still just need to look at here. And
depends on what attack does, because I'm pretty sure there's one
alloy
attack part.
That's definitely
in the early monsters.
Yeah. Where is it? Yeah, here in Buggy. It's the male. Male and Greaves.
What does attack boost do in this game?
Attack boost in this game does increases attack power. Attack +3.
Attack +3. But you kind of have to calculate that, because it's a chance to do crit/affinity is your crit chance, which does 25% more damage. So you should calculate how much damage you actually do, and then see how much of a damage increase that is.
Yeah,
because in the beginning attack is often better.
Yeah, the problem is just if she wants to do poison attack,
then
she has to do the male and the coil. But that would definitely make, let's just see, increases poison build up by 10% and bonus +2.
Whatever bonus is.
That's a good one, but bonus +5 sounds not that bad.
We don't know what bonus is.
Yeah, that's true. But, you know,
would need to research that.
Yeah.
That's kind of the worst part. Some things in Monster Hunter are very badly explained still.
Yeah.
Especially sharpness.
I do think, though, if you play for the first time and you don't want to plan ahead, and it's more like,
it
you know,
doesn't matter anyway.
It really doesn't matter for lowering. It more is like you have now built a poisonous sword, because you could build a poison sword. You just should spec maybe in like something with crit and poison attack in armor, so you just buff that.
Yeah.
That is more.
It doesn't matter. It's low rank. You do some weird shit and it works.
Yeah.
Same as in the whole game.
Oh, I guess the device is taken. But yeah, that would probably be a solid thing if you have like a poison weapon, because it just buffs your poison. And then obviously we need to go on the usual grind for getting armor spheres.
But armor spheres are just optional quests. If you
right.
hadn't took the whole I need to hunt in regions, you would have way more armor spheres.
Yeah, I thought just like...
No, you thought like, ooh, a unique reward, and didn't think about, wait, do I really need Icium 4 times?
Not really, I should just gather it, just abandon it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your progress was already 0. So just gather stuff and large monster hunting.
Large monster hunting, you're right, and gathering insects, bone piles.
Yeah.
Insects.
All monster broken parts.
I already... No, that's not one of them there.
Hmm?
There are no armor spheres for that.
Oh, then it's useless.
Yeah. I mean, small monsters, I guess, but no.
You don't really slay them actively.
Yeah, gather insects.
If you know you kill them actively, then it's fine. Otherwise...
Yeah. So yeah. Thanks everyone for tuning into, this bit of Monster Hunter Rise. Hope you had fun. I probably will play more Monster Hunter this year, like... maybe we will come back to this game one way or another, because we will probably just keep playing this on and off, and yeah, then we can maybe show some high rank later on, maybe some G rank and stuff. So that's that. But I mean, I guess maybe somewhere down the line, Freedom Unite. And if it works, I mean, here's the thing. I think if you saw it, or if anyone doesn't know, a few days ago I went to our local game store and actually got Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 in pristine condition for $20 together. I was like, holy shit. Even for more than that, this would have been still a steal, but absolute wonderful conditions. And so I'm like sitting there a bit and thinking saw the tweet in Blue Sky post, but yeah, I feel like I'm literally at this point where I should definitely get a Wii U to actually stream Wii games on my setup here. Because yeah, I joked about it. Oh hey, then I can show Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate. Yeah, I could do that, but also I can show you Super Mario Galaxy, which would be fun. But we will get to that. That will be a bit down the line, and I still need to find out how to finance that whole shebang. But hey, it would be more Monster Hunter this year. But yeah, this was Monster Hunter Rise. Still. Oh yeah, how do you rate my Hunter? Actually, she has red hair. It's just, the great Izuchi makes me blonde. It's like... It's just weird when some armor just changes your hair color. It just happens. You just put on Great Izuchi, now you're blonde. Yeah, I hope we can get back to that, one day. I hope that will definitely be fun. That's a great Izuchi hat. Wait a second, can I... I don't think I can equipment info. Yeah, I can show you without my helm. No, I don't see it. Oh, there we go. No. Okay, actually, yeah. So, there we go. I'm cool now. But yeah, have a wonderful time, and see you all, yeah. And see you all again on Sunday, where we will finish up Pikmin 1. And, yeah. What happens in the year? I don't know, maybe. Maybe the plans to showing more Wii games will happen. We will see. This was Monster Hunter Rise. I hope you liked it, and see you all again next time with Pikmin 1. And have a wonderful weekend ahead of you. Bye!